Look at this guy. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Summer travel is in the rearview mirror, and it's now time to plan out your future trips sooner rather than later. And that's because flight prices could be going up. When? You're going to find out, because joining us now, give it up for the first guest to sit on that couch. Thrifty Traveler, everybody. Jared.
I'll break it in.
Hi, buddy.
Great to see you, Jason.
Are you comfortable on that couch?
I am.
Isn't it nice?
It is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's spacious.
If you don't like it, don't email us. It's fine. Yeah.
I'll keep
How you
it to
doing?
myself. I'm great.
Okay. Here's the headline that I have on this card here, and you got to tell. Oh, by the way, thank you for wearing clothes that match our suit, set. Yeah.
I coordinate.
Thank you. Here we go. Let me read this. Revenge travel is over. Flight prices are going up. Explain this to the folks.
Yeah. So, coming out of the pandemic, flight prices and travel demand were really difficult to gauge. So airlines put, flights to Europe or a lot of flights on domestic, flights within the US, and they really had no idea what to do. They're kind of they say driving down the highway, but looking in the rearview mirror, trying to gauge and forecast where travel is going to be. So they made a lot of mistakes, which resulted in a lot of cheap airfare. So for example, last summer, I guess it is still technically summer, but the last several months, flights to Europe have been the cheapest we've ever seen in a time when they normally would be twice as expensive, and domestic airfare has been down as much. So the airlines are going to make these same mistakes again, and travel's starting to normalize. So that's once they figure this out, that means flight prices are likely going to inch higher.
Inch, not feet higher?
It's similar to the airlines.
I'm holding you to the ruler, Jared.
Similar to the airlines, it's impossible to know exactly, but the airlines felt a lot of pain, especially budget airlines like Frontier and Spirit, which are kind of evolving their business models to kind of be more like Delta and American and United. Okay,
so flight prices are maybe inching up. I know that this happened during the pandemic. Flexibility to cancel, rebook actually got easier. It was a rare piece of good news from the airlines for us. Is that holding?
Yeah, that's sticking around. So important.
It really is.
This is one of the key things. The airlines, when you go to book, they're going to be like, oh, here's basic economy. It's the cheapest. But the thing is to book main cabin fares or higher, because then you have the ability to cancel for a voucher, where basic economy does not have that. So let's say that the price goes way down. You can cancel, get a voucher for future use on that airline, where basic economy does not allow that. So
remember that. Write that down.
Main cabin.
Main cabin. Yeah. Do whatever you can. The basic economy, it sounds like a good deal, but it could bite you in your butt on the other end. Yeah. I don't need that visual today, but anyway, yeah. Now, they're also cutting flights, too, this season?
Yeah, they're going to be cutting flights. So like I was talking to, the flight prices dropped a lot to Europe. So next summer, next spring, going to Europe, they're going to cut a lot of flights. And then domestically, we're seeing cut flights. And then they're going to take those flights and they're going to put them somewhere else, maybe to Asia, maybe more to Hawaii, maybe to the Caribbean, Mexico. It's hard to know just yet. But regardless of whatever happens, there's going to be little areas, pockets of value. I mean, that's what I'm in the business of, is flying.
Okay. Low-cost carriers. I'm talking your Spirit. I'm talking your it's a little Southwest.
Yeah.
Are they still low cost, or are they even changing a little bit?
So Southwest is a great example that's hard to put in a category.
Yeah.
But they are changing their business model dramatically. So you're soon, next year, going to be able to pick your seat when you fly Southwest. And any of you guys who've flown Southwest, you know what it's like, the weird boarding, the A, B, C based on when you check in. It's crazy, it's a little different. But now Southwest is like, okay, we need to change. So now not only will you be able to choose your seats in 2025 at some point, but you can also go on Google Flights, and when you're searching for your flights, and you should be using Google Flights to search and book your flights, you will see now Southwest flights on there, where before they didn't allow that. It was only at southwest.com.
Not as a consumer, but, as a consumer. But your professional opinion, because I have a couple friends, because of geography, Southwest is their Delta.
Yeah.
Is this ultimately a good thing for Southwest customers?
It's a good thing.
In your opinion.
So it's a good thing for the flying public in general, because when you go on Google Flights, there's more options. So
Got it.
more competition is always
good.
better. So let's say that Spirit were to, merge with Frontier, or another airline, Southwest, were to merge with Delta. That is always bad. So more competition is always better. More transparency, more like apples to apples comparison when you're searching for flights is always better for us and the flying public.
I just don't like the cattle callness. That gives me stress of like, okay, everybody run to your seat. And I'm like, no! It's like Filene's basement looking for a wedding dress. I'm like, I know.
And I don't know if you know, but on Southwest, people have tactics to like scare people so people don't sit next to them. So you like stare at people, give like weird looks.
What?
Oh yeah. Nothing that I would ever do, of course, but.
A couple people did that in our studio audience today.
Of course they did.
Yeah. I'm not naming names. Tony. Anyway, that's my buddy right there.
He's got a lot of room, I understand.
Tony's the best. He's here with us on Tuesday. Okay, we're not done with Jared. Fallon's going to join the conversation. Those credit card airline miles, how to properly use them. That and more when we come back. Back in a moment, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We're back now talking travel with Jared from Thrifty Traveler, and Fallon joins us because we were.
There's room for me.
There's room for you. Well, that's why. Look at the.
I can lay out.
You
honestly.
could actually lay out.
Yeah.
Okay, all kidding aside, when we were in the show meeting talking about Jared, don't mean to talk about you in the third
behind
person,
my back.
but anyway, you had a great question, which I think consumer-wise, a lot of people have.
I have a couple of questions, but I also want to say really quick that I was on Thrifty Traveler early, like
You were
very
an
early. My husband and I got direct Delta flights to Iceland for $250 each.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
It was crazy. Yeah. So that was very early on. That was like when we first started dating. But I see, so I have the card where you earn the points, and everyone says if you're redeeming your travel or your hotel directly through your points, you're doing it wrong and you're wasting points. That you should be like basically transferring those directly to the airline or the hotel, and you get more bang for your buck. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Is that true, or is that just, should I just keep going through my credit card directly?
So like what we always recommend is, so like if you have like a Delta American Express card, then you only earn points with one airline. So there's other ones like maybe like a Chase Sapphire Preferred.
So I have a Chase Sapphire as one of mine, yeah.
So then you get all the points into one bucket,
Yes.
and you can transfer them to a bunch of different airlines or a bunch of hotels. So that's more like flexible. So there would be, two schools of thought there. If you only want to fly Delta, then the Delta American Express card makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Or you get the one with the transferable currency where you can transfer and be like, oh, hey, I want to use these points for hotels this time, and next time I want to use them for airlines.
So if I'm using it within the Chase app, that's not a waste? Because the way it's explained is almost like transferring them outside of the app directly to the airline or something. Are those two separate things?
Those are two separate things, but I think to even bring it back to make it simpler, as long as you're burning those miles and using them and not letting them just accrue,
Then
you are good to go.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing is, and we're going to talk about it shortly, is these airline points are never going to be worth more.
Okay.
Every single day they're worth less and less.
Gotcha.
So we always have an earn and burn philosophy.
Okay.
So just book them and take a trip that maybe you wouldn't normally take and save a bunch of money.
Okay, let's piggyback off that. Why is that? Because the audience just got very scared. Why are these miles going down the turlet?
Yeah. Turlet.
We're from Indiana, right, Fallon?
Yeah,
that's how
true.
we talk.
Yeah, that's true. You add an R to things. Warsh.
Warsh.
Yeah.
I thought you just had a thesaurus, but the most important thing is, you got to earn and burn those miles, because the airlines, the biggest profitability center for like Delta, American, United, is selling these points and miles to the credit card banks. Then you get them on your credit cards. And we're talking about like Delta last year, almost $7 billion in revenue alone just from their Sky Miles program.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Just the Sky Miles, guys.
Just Sky Miles. And then you think about American, which I think is $4 billion, and then $3 billion for United, give or take. It is big business. But the airlines want this to be, your points and miles to be worth less and less, because the less value you get out of it, the less it costs them. So the Department of Transportation is currently looking into this and seeing if there's any unfair or deceptive practices, which is great.
Get them, Pete! Get them!
Pete,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, we got to get to deals. Every time Jared's here, Jared curates a good list of deals for most of the cities where the Jason Show is aired. Take it away, Jared. Where do we have?
Yeah, and we got a couple new markets that the Jason Show's in. So we'll start with Minneapolis to Copenhagen, Denmark, $396 on Iceland Air. One stop this fall. Just a reminder, if you guys want to book these, look for these. Go just to Google Flights, and you can search. And then Detroit to Costa Rica, $336, one stop on American through May. Chicago to Rome, nonstop, $466 United through this fall. Seattle to Zurich, Switzerland, $458, one stop on British Airways through March. Milwaukee to Maui, Hawaii, $369, one stop on American through December.
I'm sorry, how much?
$369, yeah.
Milwaukee.
Get on it.
Get to Hawaii. Mahalo. Right now-o. Yeah.
Some great fares. Yeah, and all those fares are around $300 to $400 off.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Great deals.
Congratulations on being the first guest right there at that couch.
Excellent.
You're the best. Give it up for Jared, everybody. Go to follow Jared on Thrifty Traveler or go to thriftytraveler.com for more. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, friends.
It's fun having another person.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.